Okay, so I wanted to film a week 2 of making YouTube videos in retrospect video. So first of all, thank you so much for subscribing. We now have 6 subscribers, and that is honestly more than I expected. So thanks everyone for subscribing, and also thanks to all the viewers who have viewed my videos. I'm very grateful for it. So first off, like number one thing that I've learned this week in retrospect, I guess, is that I like to make sit down and talk videos. So I will continue doing that. I will also continue making just review videos and other videos. So yeah, that's that. That point ties into my next point, which is when you start out, this is advice to myself for the record. When you start out, start by making the type of content that you like to watch, because it's easier because you're more familiar with it. So don't try to, I guess, bite off more than you can chew. And don't try to make something that you don't even watch, because you're not going to be familiar with the general flow of how those kind of videos work, and also that will make filming them more difficult and structuring in general. I think it's like a work in progress. Once you get more comfortable with making videos, then you can obviously branch out and it's going to be a lot easier. That same sort of concept goes for anything that you're learning and where you're starting from the beginning. So yeah, that's like another thing that I kind of had to realize this week is like try to focus first of all on the type of content that you're familiar with, and then gradually branch out and try to make other types of content that you might want to try making. And just related to that point is talk about things that you like to listen to other people talk about. So basically talk about topics that you yourself find interesting. And also don't get too discouraged when you see amazing videos out there created by other people and you feel like you can't really keep up or you can't create something at that level, because, you know, they too had to start somewhere and they probably did not start at the current point that they're at right now. You know, it's a gradual process, but sometimes when you only see the end result from someone, it can be kind of hard to imagine that they too had to start somewhere, and that they too in the beginning kind of struggled with certain aspects before they really got the procedure down, the process down, like the entire flow of how to make videos and like content generation in general. It doesn't just go for videos, it's like anything really, but basically don't get discouraged by seeing everybody's perfect polished pieces, because what they're not showing is all the rough work that goes on behind the scenes. Same goes for art. You know, you see a beautiful painting, beautiful drawing, and then you look at your own cruddy sketch and you're like, ugh, I'm never gonna be able to achieve something like that. And the fact of the matter is you don't know what their sketchbook looks like. You don't know how many iterations of that piece they had to go through before they arrived at what you're currently looking at. And I think that's important to remind yourself. And that is also important for me to remind myself, because it's very easy to get discouraged when you see, you know, the masterpieces that others are putting out there seemingly effortlessly. Next is audio. That is another point that I've learned this week, I guess, how important audio is. I already knew that, but once again, it's been I've reminded myself of how important it is, and it continues to be a work in progress, I would say, with the audio. And I think at some point I will probably get it. I will master the perfect audio. Well, maybe not perfect, but I will master at least some kind of decent audio. So, you know, let's all await that eagerly, that beautiful day when I'm finally able to produce a video with great audio. Last but not least, keep a rolling list of topics that you would like to make videos of. When I say a rolling list, I mean a list that you continuously update based on whether or not you're actually into this thing at the moment. So for instance, 3 years ago when I first started to want to make YouTube videos, I was really into game modding and I wanted to do that myself. I have some old Game Boys and I have some like shells or cases that I would like to mod and change the screens. I have the screens too. I basically have most of the things required, but it's not something I'm into right now, just because I'm kind of preoccupied by other things. I don't really have time to play games right now. That sounds like not video games. That sounds like when you're telling someone off. I don't have time to play games right now. Just give it to me straight. That's not what I mean. I just mean I don't have time to play video games right now. I am currently playing Pikmin, but it's very slow progress just because other things are kind of taking precedence over that. And because of that, you know, the whole game modding thing has also sort of taken a backseat. That doesn't mean that I don't want to do it ever. That just means that I don't want to do it right now. Now, I had a bunch of ideas for videos that I wanted to do, and all of these ideas were on my current video idea list, which made it seem like the list itself was really, really long and like I had so much to choose from. But then whenever I would look it over, I would think, there's nothing on this list. It's like the same situation where you look inside your closet and you're like, oh, you have so many clothes, but you have nothing to wear because everything that's in there is stuff that you would never wear. Now, I always just wear black, either turtlenecks or t-shirts, so I don't really have that problem. Kind of eliminated it, but I think it's a situation that most people are familiar with before you get rid of all your clothes because you want to be a minimalist. And yeah, let's talk about that in another video. Anyway, my point here is you should keep your list up to date. So I looked over my list a few days ago and I removed all the things that I wanted to make videos of in the past, but that I'm currently just not really that interested in. However, I still want to do it at some point. So I just moved it to a no or future list. You know, I'm not ruling out that I want to make these videos, but I'm also not forcing myself to do it at some point in the future. It's just like, maybe I'm not gonna do it, or maybe I'm gonna do it in the future. And then I took the sort of current list and called it the yes/maybe list. And on that list, I now have things that I either want to make videos of or that I maybe want to make videos of. And I've found that a lot more conducive to my productivity because now I can just look at the list and whatever's on there, you know, I can go straight for that instead of having to like decide, oh, is it something I want to do now or no? And it feels like I have a lot of ideas on the list, but there's nothing useful. So that's also a thing that I've learned this week. And that I feel like has been a very helpful realization. So yeah, I'm glad I realized that. So yeah, that basically sums up my week 2 in retrospect. I'm publishing it on the 18th, which is kind of late, but the first one was also published kind of late just because there was some discrepancy between when I made the videos, the first couple of videos, and when I published them, just because I had to edit and, you know, things just happen and take time. But I feel like we're kind of catching up. Week 2 should ideally be on the 14th, right? Since 1 week is 7 days, but today is the 18th, so we're only a little bit behind schedule. So overall, I think that's okay. Maybe we can catch up for week 3, or maybe not. Who knows? It depends on what videos I end up making. I have a few on the list that I'm working on and a few that I haven't started yet, but where I basically have like an outline in my head. So I just gotta write it down and get it out. And I think that is where I'm gonna end this video. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks again to all my subscribers. And yeah, until next time, bye.